Hello everyone, it's Monika here and welcome to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with MDF project. I'm going to use a tag from this set of 22 MDFs from Polka Doodles Crafts. And as you can see, I've got some acrylic paints on my left and I'm going to cover this tag with old ivory. It's a color from that set which I managed to buy from Vinted. It's a Stamperia acrylic paint set and I'm using kitchen sponge because I think this is the best way to apply acrylic paint on MDF. But if you want, you can use some paintbrush or something else which you might find a bit more handy. But I love using kitchen sponge, and because you always have it there, and you can apply that acrylic paint by using a dabbing motion, as you can see me doing right now, or just sweep it across. It all depends what kind of effect you are looking for. If you want more textured effect, you just dab it on top of it. If you want even more, just let it dry and then apply some more through a stencil. So this is something you can find out and try for yourself, and I think this kitchen sponge, as you can see, works very well. You can cover the front, you can cover the back. It's how you want to do it. As you can see, this tag is already dry, and I'm just explaining that this is the side where I used dabbing, and then this on the reverse I use the sweeping motion, and I'm going to use the side where I've got a little bit more texture by dabbing the acrylic paint on top of my tag. So now it's time to apply some stencil butter, and the stencil butter I'm going to use is of course from Polka Doodle, and this is the stencil, leafy stencil I'm using. I think it's really pretty, and as you can see, it covers the whole tag. The stencil butter is called Ocean Sparkles, but I'm going to include all the information below the video. So you use a palette knife, you can use an old credit card or gift card to apply your paste, your stencil butter, and you don't have to put that design all over your tag. You can do it in a few different areas. I usually try to do it on the top left corner and bottom right corner. I don't know, it's just something I usually do in most of my projects when I use a stencil. So this is something I am doing right now, and you can actually apply it a little bit more heavy-handed, or you can just sweep it across and just keep that quite thin layer on top of your project. You can remove the excess from the edges, and then you have to make sure that it's completely dry before you create add your composition on top. So this is my tag which needs to dry now, and let's see what I'm going to do next with the composition on top of it. Look at that beautiful shine. I think it's so pretty. So my texture paste is already dry, and you can see that I prepared quite a lot of elements to decorate my tag, and I'm using this stamp to stamp the create. I've got some chipboards as well, and I've got those beautiful pretty starburst flower centers, and I think they are so pretty. I never used them before, but I thought they will be perfect for this project. And these are the flowers. So this is the code if you're looking for the code, but as I said, I'm going to include all the information below the video. And this flower that I said is called Pretty Blossom Flower die, and I've got the flourish leaf as well, leafy flourish die. And it's just so pretty. I love the small one. The small one I cut from white card, and the big one I cut from the pattern paper from the paper pad. I use this paper pad to cut my flowers, I cut 2 layers from that particular design paper, and that green pattern paper I used to cut out those bigger flourishes. So let's start decorating this tag. So I'm going to use that flower center, and I'm going to use the frame. But first, I think it would be nice to add a little bit of inking around my tag. So as you can see, I'm using the walnut stain distress ink just to add a little bit of that deeper brown color all over, well, on the edges of my tag. And this way, as you can see, we can see that beautiful leafy stencil even more, because the darker color just brings all that stenciling a little bit forward, and it just highlights it even more. So as you can see now, I think you can see it now, that it just brings everything to the front of my tag a little bit more. I just love adding that a little bit extra, and I think it will look a little bit more vintage once I finish decorating the whole tag. So I'm going a little bit over that stenciling, and as you can see, I think it looks much better. So now let's pick all the pieces I need to decorate it. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take that flower center and that chipboard frame. As you can see, it's very pretty, and I'm going to use this Wow embossing powder from the latest collection, which is called Dried Lavender, and I'm going to add it to the frame and to that flower center. So I'm going to speed up that part of the video a little bit more, so you can see how I'm applying the embossing powder. But I think I'm going to only use that smaller flower center. You can see that these are my leaves, which I prepared cut, and the smaller leaves are actually inked a little bit with that green distress oxide, just to highlight them a little bit. I was thinking to use that sparkly iridescent glitter, but probably I'm not going to use it, and I will have to think about adding a little bit of color to that word create. But first I need to do the heat embossing. So I'm picking the Versamark ink, and as you can see, I'm pressing my chipboard and that flower center and applying that ink, and as you can see now, I'm heat embossing both elements to have it ready for my tag. So as you can see, it gave me this beautiful shine and sparkle, and because it has some chunky beads and some white beads, it looks really nice and has a lot of interest. So I need to press it in the center to lift up those bits and pieces. And to attach the frame, you just need 2 dots of hot glue just to hold it in place, and because it will not be visible once I will start to put all the other elements on my tag, I think that's the best way. You can use liquid glue, because you can use adhere it with liquid glue, but it will take a little bit longer to glue it down, and you will have to be very careful with your composition. So I'm continuing applying the hot glue and using the hot glue to adhere the pieces. So you can see I'm adding those bigger leaves first, because of course, you know, you have to think about your composition. So these are going first, and next we're going to add a little bit of natural fiber. I love using scissor because it gives me a little bit of a lift and it gives interest, and that's some different texture, especially with mixed media projects. I think this is something nice. You can use cheesecloth, you can use other bits and pieces, but I just love using those natural fibers. And for them you don't need liquid glue. It's best if you use I think a dot of hot glue will be more than enough. So I'm adding the hot glue in the center and gently pressing that natural fiber down. Of course, there will be some strands which will be a little bit too long, so you might want to cut them off. But as you can see, that one dot of hot glue was enough for my scissor and for my flower. And I added the flower center, and I think it lifts everything up. The volume is there and it looks so much and pretty already, I think. So yeah, I hope you will like this project once I finish adding all the other elements to it. So as you can see, I'm playing a little bit with those longest strands of that natural fiber, and now it's time to add that short flourish. And if you think that it's a little bit too long, don't be afraid to just tear it, make it a little bit shorter, just cut with your scissors, however you want to do it. I usually just just pull at the end a little bit, and that's how you can do that as well. So I'm just trying to make sure that the flower center is nice and raised up a little bit, because in any MDF decorations or mixed media projects, it's all about texture, volume, and everything else. So yeah, don't be afraid to add a little bit more to your project and just add the volume as well. So as you can see, it looks really nice already. I really like it, and I think that create is a little bit too pale. So let's see, shall I add this or not? I wanted to use it, but it looks like it maybe doesn't fit, it doesn't go with my project. So let's work a little bit on that word. I think it would be nice if I add a little bit of color. So I'm just looking to see what I could do with that. I think I will go for the same distress ink in walnut stain, and I just need to add yes, that's the one I use on those edges. So I just need to add a little bit of water, which of course it doesn't want to go, but yeah, there's always a way. So yes, I decided just to use the tube from my spray bottle, and I have to probably get a new one because this one clearly doesn't want to work. And you just need a paintbrush and just use that ink as your watercolor. So just adding a little bit of color, not putting the color all over every single letter, but just adding it a little bit. Make sure that you don't add a lot of water because it's going to be too much. But as you can see, I'm just adding, highlighting, like making sure that the word stands up a little bit better. It's not too white. So yeah, I think it works. I think it will look really pretty together with my composition. So I'm adding a little bit more, and you can already see that it looks really nice. And of course, once that will dry, it will become a little bit lighter. So don't be afraid to add a bit darker colors, darker shades. Just experiment and see what's going to happen. So look at that. I think it looks really nice. I really like it. I think it will bring that extra special touch to my project. So I wasn't very happy with some of the letters. I am adding a little bit more color, but I think overall it will look really nice. Yes, This is really nice. So I'm going to include all the links to every single product, of course, as long as it's available on Polka Doodles Crafts. I'm going to link them below the video so you can check it out. And yes, I think that sentiment needs a little bit of something. So I'm going to use my liquid glue and I'm going to add some foam pads to add dimension to this project and to that word, because I think it will look very flat if I just adhere it without any foam pads. So foam pads are going in, and you can already see that a slightly vintagey look, especially the background and the stenciling. I think it just shows that vintage vibe on this MDF. So making sure everything is straight, adhering it down. Yeah, and it looks really nice. I hope you will like it. I'm thinking that maybe I should actually use hot glue gun, because it feels that it's a little bit shifting because of those natural fibers underneath. Of course it would grab after a while, but I think I wasn't that patient and I really needed to adhere it properly straight away. So I'm looking for something which I could add like a little bit of I think maybe I should add those enamel dots from Polka Doodles, but I'm looking into those colors and I don't think they would work on this project. So let's see, maybe that light green. Not sure, but I think liquid a glitter glue would be the best, I think, because it just adds a little bit of sparkle. It does not overtake the project and it doesn't add another color, which I think there's enough color. I just wanted that flower to pop a bit more, and I want that focus to be on the flower leaves and that create. So I think those sequins will be perfect because they matching that flower center. It's very similar to the flower center, that embossing powder I use on that chipboard and that flower center, and I think, look at that, I think it adds a little bit of sparkle. And this is my finished tag. I hope you like it. I'm so super happy how it turned out. I love the texture, I love the shine, I love all the layers, and I hope you like it. Of course, I'm going to link all the products below the video so you can check it out, and I hope you, if you've got any MDFs, I hope I inspired you to create your own. So thank you so much, and I hope you're going to check out the links below to see what kind of products I use, and you're going to have fun with your MDFs. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye for now.